Hillary and Bernie went at it over Dodd-Frank and Wall Street influence. Let's watch.
My 750,000 donors have contributed more than $1.5 million donations. I'm very proud. That, I think, between the two of us demonstrates the strength of the support we have among people who want to see change in our country. But the real issue that I think the senator is injecting into this is that if you had a super PAC like President Obama had, which now says it wants to support me, it's not my PAC. If you take donations from Wall Street, you can't be independent. I would just say I debated then Senator Obama numerous times on stages like this. And he was the recipient of the largest number of Wall Street donations of anybody running on the Democratic side ever. Now, when it mattered, he stood up and took on Wall Street. He pushed through and he passed the Dodd-Frank regulations, the toughest regulations since the 1930s. So let's not in any way imply here that either President Obama or myself would in any way not take on any vested interest, whether it's Wall Street or drug companies or insurance companies or, frankly, the gun lobby, to stand up to do what's best for the American people.
Well, let's not insult the intelligence of the American people. People aren't dumb. Why in God's name does Wall Street make huge campaign contributions? I guess just for the fun of it. They want to throw money around. Why does the pharmaceutical industry make huge campaign contributions? Any connection, maybe, to the fact that our people pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs? Why does the fossil fuel industry spend huge amounts of money on campaign contributions? Any connection to the fact that not one Republican candidate for president thinks and agrees with the scientific community that climate change is real?
You know, it's becoming more and more apparent to not just me, but a lot of other people as well, that Hillary repeatedly contradicts herself on this topic. Because half the time, she says what she said right there, which is, big business is irrelevant, they give me money, but whatever, they gave Obama money too, and that doesn't buy influence, so pay no attention to it whatsoever, still vote for me. That she says that half the time, and the other half the time she says, I take on big business and special interests. Wait, which is it? You just argued right there, clearly, that it doesn't really matter, because in the end I'll do the right thing, even though I'm taking money from big business, and Obama did too. And then at other times you'll say, oh, I took them on, I took on the health industry, I have the scars to show it. Which is it, Hillary? Which is it? Which is it? Do you need to take it on, and do they, have a lot of influence, or did they, they don't even have influence. I don't know what you're talking about, and I'll do the right thing anyway. No, that makes no sense, Hillary. That's a contradiction. And again, I think other people are picking up on that too now. Hillary has repeatedly implied that Dodd-Frank is this panacea, that we already fixed every problem with Wall Street, and now we have nothing to worry about, and there's not going to be another crash or a Great Recession or depression or anything like that because of what Obama did and what the Democrats did and with Dodd-Frank. Okay. Dodd-Frank is a pathetically weak piece of legislation because of the influences that Bernie Sanders is talking about here. You had lobbyists write parts of the bill, and I should also note that Dodd and Frank, Barney Frank and Chris Dodd, they're on corporate boards right now. So this piece of legislation was window dressing. Does it fix some things? Sure. Does it go far enough in preventing what will be the next inevitable crash and downturn? Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we know that one of the big causes for the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession was what happened, the repeal of Glass-Steagall and the Gramm-Leach-Bliley Act. And what that did is it makes it so that when you go to your local bank and you put money in there, it used to be the case that they can't do crazy bets with that. They can't gamble with that. They have to do safe investments with that. There was a firewall between investment banking and commercial banking. when we repealed Dodd-Frank, we got rid of that firewall. So now you put money in your bank, and the banksters can take that money and do derivatives bets and puts and calls and all types of crazy casino capitalist bets, where eventually, as any gambler knows, it's going to blow up and you're going to lose money, and they're going to tank the U.S. economy with it. Okay? And in Dodd-Frank, they didn't even bring back Glass-Steagall. So they're like, yeah, we fixed the problem. Really? Well, why didn't you bring back the thing which led to stable banking for decades? Yeah, we don't have an answer for that. Because they're taking money from corporate lobbyists, and the corporate lobbyists don't want that back because they get to make money in the short term if they don't have that there. So it's ridiculous to think Dodd-Frank is the cure-all. No, it's not. As I said yesterday on Twitter, it's a Band-Aid with a little bit of ointment over a gaping, gangrenous wound. It's better than nothing, but it ain't going to prevent the next crash because a lot of the flaws that led to this are still there. We reinflated the housing bubble, and we still have many problems with the fundamentals of the economy. So that's not the answer. The answer is to bring back Glass-Steagall, an updated version of Glass-Steagall, like Bernie wants to do, and to break up the big banks and actually foster competition. As many people have rightly pointed out, people are portraying Bernie as anti-capitalist. He's not anti-capitalist. If anything, he's going to save capitalism. You break up the big banks, you make them smaller, then you make them compete. That's capitalism. That's free enterprise. So he's in favor of stopping corporatism, which is socialism for the corporations that are already in power. That's not capitalism. So he's more of a capitalist than Hillary Clinton or any of the Republicans. So this is, it's just absurd that Hillary Clinton half the time pretends like she's harder on fighting special interests. The other half the time acts like special interests don't matter. And then there's this notion, this idea that we already kind of fixed it, so shh, don't go further. And then on top of that, after she says that, what does she argue in the next breath? Oh, and my plan goes further than Bernie's.